What hub? Bienvenido and welcome. Yo, I decided to go live on my YouTube channel instead of my Facebook. Man. And later on, I just probably just go online, you know, stream simultaneously. But, just wanted to come on here real quickly. Um, rumors of war. Rumors of war. Man, everyone speaking about Ukraine and Russia. Uh, bombing Ukraine and stuff. And I say rumors of war because it is not yet a full-fledged war. It's just a battle right now. You know what I'm saying? It's an invasion. It's a battle. So it's not a full-fledged war. It's just rumors that it might be a war. I don't know. However, I want to say this. When you research further, you have to look at the locality, the topography, the where the peace, young in lie, peace. You have to look at the location of where Russia is in Ukraine, and then the history of it. You know what I'm saying? The geological history, geopolitical history, and social political history too. You got to look at all that. You see, I'm a polypath. Which means I look into many different sciences and many different narratives to see if it adds up and put the pieces together. It's just the way I am. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's many of us like that. So when you look at, where Russia is located, and you see where Ukraine is located, and the peace that Russia is trying to carve out of Ukraine. I don't know if they're gonna try to take the whole country of Ukraine, but might want to carve out a piece or start from that. When you look at that and you look at the news and they reveal and they say, oh yeah, this is how they're moving their troops or whatever, right? And they're carving out this piece from Ukraine. It have more access. You see, if they carve that piece, it gives them more ports. Because Russia they have ports in the Black Sea, which leads them into the Mediterranean. And they have access to that. Russia on the other side, they have access to Turkey. They had it, Kazakhstan. Man, the women there are beautiful. nice women there. I met some in Niagara Falls. And, and they get access to Turkey, you know what I'm saying? So you have to look at these nations try and increase their military influence in Africa. Yeah, well, yeah, if there's rumors of war, then everybody's going to try to tighten up. And yeah, that can be another, you got to look at that also. That can be another, the hidden agenda behind a lot of things. Because, again, we have to see how it impacts us as a people, you know what I'm saying? Especially, of our tribe and nation. We got to see how it's impact also Africa, the cradle of civilization, the cradle of humanity. We got to see how all this plays. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the geopolitical and the geosocial, which is, carving out an area to give them access to Turkey. And if they have access to the Middle East easily, they can increase their access into Africa. Oh yeah. Because the Middle East has always been like a bridge from Asia, the Middle East to Africa, which is the Eastern Hemisphere, So you got to look at that also. So if they carve out this piece, it's give them more ports, more access for them to have access to the Black Sea, and then access to the Mediterranean. You know what I'm saying? So it could deal a lot with trade. And then also, in terms of the, they I'm sure that they got together and they looked at the strategic and how is this going to benefit us as a people, the Russian. And they say, we're going to make this move. We're going to see how it's going to benefit us, the Russian Federation, how it's going to benefit us, and how it's going to give us an opportunity to make our friends money too. Satisfy them, because I'm about to bring in some heat. So I want to make sure that the heat doesn't spread out to the people that have been good to me, or that I have relationship, or that territory has power that can equal our power, nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to rub U.S. the wrong way. They don't want to rub the French the wrong way. They don't want to rub a lot of these EU countries the wrong way. They don't want to do that. So right now they're playing chess, and right now they probably had it already figured out. Hey, listen, if this gets to a point where we have to go and get busy up here in Ukraine, it's going to affect this. It's going to affect the map. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect the politics. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect our relationship with other countries. It's going to affect. You know what I'm saying? So they got to look for the least amount of damage, you know what I'm saying, to themselves. So they got to look into that. But the move is, in terms of topography, mapping, it's going to open up access to the Black Sea, which is a huge blue sea, the Black Sea. And then you got to look at it also that Ukraine sits on top of the country that it's into renewable energy, clean, green, renewable energy. Ukraine is on top of the list. On top of the list. What the hell is this? Yeah. So Ukraine is on top of that list. You know what I'm saying? And so Ukraine is on top of that list when it comes to renewable energy and stuff like that. So, and according to the World Banks, and they're saying that, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying, they're leading the charge. So then again, you gotta look at that. Hey, what's up, Bondo? What's up? Yeah, I'm on here. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of, say, play, when you thinking process when you make a play like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at a big chessboard. You don't know what Russia is thinking. You don't know. All you see is the moves that it's making. But then you say, how is this going to impact these different, positions like social politics or the economy? How's it going to impact? How's it going to impact our relationship to open up to the Middle East and to Africa? They always have to find a way back to the cradle because they realize what's going on. They have to find their way back to the cradle of humanity and stuff like that. Somehow feel connected. And if they don't, they feel alien to that, to humanity. They feel that they're alien to that, then, it's going to be exposed. It's going to show, especially in this day and time. So, yeah, according to, World Economic Forum, Ukraine sits on top of renewable energy. And so, if we're shifting, the fossil fuel families, like the Gettys, the DuPont, Gettys, these families that are tied in with the Middle East, with the oil, and they're very tied in, and they made a lot of money and that's from, I think that's the second, I believe that's the second revolution, the second industrial revolution, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Or machinery. Well, it's actually the third, right? Because machinery came in the third revolution, I believe. I gotta look it up. We're in the fourth industrial revolution, right? And that means that there's an AI thing and everything. But then there's another revolution where everything became mechanical and, mechanics. And that came in the early 1900s, right? Mechanics. That industry of mechanics. But I think that the revolution, yeah. So right. So the oil, the process of extracting oil, and that became big around, I think, the third industrial revolution. So you got a lot of a lot of families that made a lot of money from that material, from the earth, the blood from the earth, right? A lot. So you got to see this is how they got down. This is energy that we renew. They were ahead of the energy resource. They call the energy resources. Those resources that provide us with energy. But now, but that energy that it was, anti-sociable. It was killing the planet. You know what I'm saying? Things was happening with the fusel, with the oil, petroleum and oil, and that revolution. So now when you got to look at Russia, had they made a step into, definitely they're in the fourth industrial, definitely they're cyber security. Russia is one of the top cyber security. The company come from Russia. Russia is deep on that. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Putin was a KGB, and he was security in the sense of that covert security, whereas cyber is in that fourth industrial revolution on the internet. And when it comes to security, man, Russia's on top and attacking. They know that business very well. They know how to break down walls and stuff like that. Look at the trolls. You can get a lot of trolls from Russia on the internet because they set out to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they're getting down. You know what I'm saying? Very high-tech individuals, We don't hear too much about them, but they're high-tech. You know what I'm saying? The relationship with China was always very close, especially when they were both communists. They play that role. But very, very tight with China, and they still are. So, looking at the social political too, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, politics is always being moved, facilitated by economics. When you watch the flow of economics, it breeds politics. You know what I'm saying? Because politics, they have to make sure that everybody's playing on a certain field that they want to play in. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to cross the streets. So, as far as politics is concerned, it has a lot to deal with Ukraine involvement with the fourth industrial revolution, and Russia is trying to get up on that. Because remember, it's also even though they're really tight with China, they're still competing against China in certain things. There's certain families that want more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? And they're running the show. Yeah, Putin's just a puppet. Putin is just a puppet. He might have married in, or I don't know how far he got into those big cabal families that controls the World Bank and stuff like that. I don't know. Or those nobilities, those what they call black nobilities, or ancient Roman nobilities, landowners in ancient Rome that became families, that became what your cabal. They trace their bloodline to that. You know what I'm saying? Is he part of those houses? House of Harrisburg, the House of Orange. There's certain houses, And so, you got to look at, Putin has, they run the World Bank. They run, they're deal makers. They're shifters in economy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They have their bank called the World Bank. That's their bank. Every nation or every group organization can have their own bank. And their bank is that World Bank, which has a very, very strong hold within the United Nations. Okay? That bank. And so a lot of things has to be taken into account. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with this, going to war, battle, or trying to make that move like that. What Russia is doing. So they got to look at it in terms of trade, in terms, and they got to make sure that hey, hey, Turkey is going to benefit you. Kazakhstan, this is going to benefit you because I'm opening my port. I got this for you, I got that for that, and the renewal. At the end of the day, it's some business deals going on, all economics. So we got to really look into economics and says, yo, why is Russia making a move like that, and why are they saying it now, and why people are going against it? After a while, people protest, and guess what? No more protests, and they continue on doing what they're doing. This goes on. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting because China definitely got a foot in China. I mean, China definitely got a foot in Africa. Definitely got a play in Africa. And United States got play there too with Liberia and other, and I think Ghana, something like that. United States has a pretty good hold on that there. You know what I'm saying? And they little by little losing it. You can see it. But yeah, Russia might be making their move, man, because again, that's the cradle of civilization. That's the real raw materials that from there. I mean, you won't even have a computer if you didn't have the cobalt that's taken from Africa. You wouldn't even have the internet. You know what I'm saying? The cobalt for these devices, right? The raw material. Look at the raw material around you and say, where's it coming from? Where's this raw material coming from? And then you see how certain families have control of those mines and those, you know what I'm saying, manufacturing and so and so and so. Sure, they cut out a piece here, they cut out a piece there, cut out a piece to give it out. But there's some family that are economically knowledgeable. You know, they know how to move, they know how to deal with economics, and they know how to move in that world. Really, really good. You know what I'm saying? It's about numbers at the end of the day. And now the numbers now on the internet, codes. Remember, being a KGB or being a lot of these alphabet boys, you know what I'm saying, in the world, they really, have knowledge a lot about programming and codes, especially when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution. They're breaking codes, they're creating algorithms and so that they can fact check. And fact check only means that it's not conducive to your, narrative, your agenda. That's what fact check is. When Russia fact checks the world on news and stuff like that, they're fact checking to see whether it is beneficial for Russia. Same thing with the United States. When companies do that also, Facebook has people that sit behind cubicles on the internet, and they're codes. They're programmers. They hire these programmers. And so what they do is they check certain things on the internet. You can see that when you got hidden users on your platform and you don't even know who these people are. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. Hidden users. And then if you don't recognize who that person is, and you're like, whoa, how are they here? It's because YouTube also has a building that hire people that sit in there, and they're programmers, code and programmers here. So they fact check things. So Russia also has that. India has it, and Nigeria, very big on that. These people form companies and cubicles, and all they do, and they're programmers, and they get on the internet and create algorithms and fact check this, make sure that the agenda, especially if they're being, monitored by their government, they got to make sure that they're doing their thing. That's a lot of it is government sanction. The government ain't going to allow anything to happen if it doesn't want it to happen. It's going to find ways. It governs the mind. It can create a narrative, and people will catch on to it, and they taught this. But yeah, this whole thing with Ukraine and Russia. It's got everybody speaking. They got people speaking about it. It's in the news. It's a narrative out here. No more of that other jabble wabble thing. And then you got to be careful because pretty soon it'll be like if you speak about this war in any way, if we go to war and you speak about it, the algorithm's gonna shut you down. Shut you down. See, they have, and the military also has. There are people that sit where in these cubicles, these companies that fact check things out here, make sure that it's not damaging in any way to the military system. All these alphabet, NSA, they all have their high tech persons, so they programmers, code programmers and stuff like that. They go to school for that. So Russia has the same thing, and I'm sure Ukraine has the same thing. So you're gonna see a lot of things play out here, a lot of things being played out here, and not only because of Ukraine and Russia, but you're gonna see things happening within the metaverse, the crypto world. Man, that's another one. But you see, that's when you go into those business channels and stuff like that, you get to learn a lot of this stuff and see it. You know what I'm saying? But then when it becomes mass media, that you see it on NBC News, and it's a narrative that everybody, the layman person, the person, goes to work 9 to 5, not really into the scholastic, anything like that. When they get a hold of it and they're speaking that narrative, then you got like they call it, hit. You got a hit. All right, now I'm governing the minds of the people. I got them all thinking a certain way now. So I got a hit. I went viral. I got a hit. I got them thinking a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That's again, behavior science. You got people that study these things. Social politics. They look at the politics, and I'm sure that they got together and they did their assessment and they say, okay, this is how is it going to go down, guys? This is how it's going to go down. Because you got to look at conflict. When someone has a conflict, there's a third party involved in it. It's not those two conflict. If you see Russia and Ukraine is having a conflict ever, you got to look at the third party. It's someone in the cut creating this thing. You know what I'm saying? Someone's in the cut, and it could be America, it could be China, it could be you know what I'm saying. Someone's in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Creating this conflict, and a lot of times it can be again these submerged. They're not like a nation, but they're an organization that is that is submerged. Like these, again, black nobility. They're the one moving it. They're the one moving everything. But then they got presidents are being elected, right? And you think that when you vote for the president, but you're voting for the collegial college vote, something like that. And then they're the one that determine. You know what I'm saying? So that system, it's a system that you got to really look at it. I don't know how I got there anyway. I'm ready to go inside the store here, man. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming on here and listening to me rattle on. But that's the discussion now. You know what I'm saying? That I seen that to be in the news. I don't like to watch the news, but it's very interesting when I say, well, let me see what I can see into this. How you doing? All right, let me see what I can see into this. Let me see what open it up a little bit and see what the move, the chess move, and see whether my game is on good, whether I can see my intuition, and my ancestors are looking out for me, the overseers. Let the ancestors and the Tharos look after all of us, no matter who you are, no matter what nationality you are, no matter what race. There's only one race, a human race, but let the forces of nature really look after us. You know what I'm saying? The Tharo. It's very important. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, we have to look out for natural nature. So we got to see a lot of this. Also, when we look at this, Ukraine and Russia situation. You gotta look at that also. You know what I'm saying? And that's looking at it from a galactical point. It's like, how's this going to impact the planet? See, we're looking at it, see, how's it going to impact Africa, the cradle, or the Ma? And then how's it going to impact the whole planet Earth? Geb. How's it going to impact that? And then Nut. And how's it going to impact, you know, again, you put yourself in that extraterrestrial seat and look down and say, yo, what's happening down there? And you can look at it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? And it's just rising your perspective, rising your perspective, and rising your perspective. Anyway, I'm ready to go in. Hey, peace and all and blessings to you. And I'll see you later. I'm going to probably go live on tonight. I don't know. Peace. How do I end this?